We had an incredible season, series of 15 sales. We sold for over 3.5 billion Hong Kong dollar worth of art and different collectibles. It's the strongest season we've had. We hold major sales every 6 months. It's the strongest sale we've had since 2013.
Wow.
So it does surpass any sale we had in 2012, in 2018, and of course in 2020. Even if the second half of 2020 we could see already a very strong recovery. So we are very pleased with this result. The convention center was extremely well visited. We had over 15,000 visitors, and we have fully capitalized on all our digital innovation, and we've been able to live stream beyond what we've ever done before. And we could reach, in aggregate, 5.5 million viewers through all the platforms that we've deployed. And that compares to actually 350 that we had last season. So a massive traffic at the convention center, a very strong engagement on all the digital platforms, and overall, obviously, a very strong result with over 3.5 billion Hong Kong dollar being sold.
That's quite incredible, given that most of the world are still very much mired in the pandemic and the economic problems that it has brought. So what would explain such a strong demand?
I think we've seen a rising enthusiasm for art and collectibles, especially in Asia, for quite some time already. I believe we've been able to engage with existing collectors and bring them, continue to accompany them on their collecting journey. But we've seen during this season specifically a pickup in new clients, new collectors, millennials, collectors reaching us through digital media, and which I think is adding to the demand that we historically had.
So would you say that most of the buyers who took part in the Hong Kong sales this year were bidding outside of Hong Kong and online?
We had a very strong participation. We always do have a strong participation outside of Hong Kong. Hong Kong, if we look at the whole year, is about 30% of the buying, and the other 70% would be outside of Hong Kong in Asia. But we've been able, more than we usually do, to engage with collectors online in presenting the objects and sharing the excitement of the beautiful and rare pieces that we were presenting, but also engage them on how we transact, transferring that passion of the bidding that is happening in the auction room. We had maybe 100 people, 150 people at the peak in the auction room, which compares to maybe 350, 400 pre-COVID. But even a smaller audience in the auction room has not changed the passion that we see with bidding on the phones and online, and definitely being able to engage such a wide and global audience for the Hong Kong sale has had a tremendous impact on, I believe, on our overall results.
So do you think that the strong demand that we've seen in the auctions is a symptom of how the wealthy has become wealthier after the pandemic, even though the poor are getting poorer?
It's hard to make a final judgment from what I see, but what I can say is that we've been able to engage new collectors at different price points and levels, including at masterpiece level, and I think it's a testimony to the quality of the objects that we brought to the market, and to the ability we had to engage clients through different platforms, whether they are physical or digital, to attract their interest.
Now, one highlight is, of course, the Basquiat painting that was sold for a final price of just over 30 million US dollars. And that, of course, followed the other work, his Warrior, that was sold also by Christie's in March, which set a new record for the most expensive work by a Western artist sold in Asia. So tell us about the Basquiat market, because we're seeing quite a lot of works by the late American artists being sold here in Asia.
So first, Basquiat is, I must say, an exceptional artist. His life was short, and he produced in his last 6-7 years a whole range of really truly exceptional works, which are rare. The Basquiat market historically has been more of a American-centered market, and what we strategically wanted to do with a series of paintings coming for sale, but also with non-selling exhibition that we're holding in the convention center, is to bring the best to collectors here, and have a wonderful way of showcasing the best works of Basquiat. So we kicked off with the wire sale in March. That was a tandem sale with our colleagues in London, and the wire became 324 million Hong Kong dollar, became the most expensive Western world work ever sold in Asia. Then we continued with the New York sale, where we had an absolute masterpiece, the Red Skull, that sold for 93 million US dollar, where it was a global bidding, and there was some degree of participation from Asian buyers. And then we brought an exceptional show into the convention center, collaborating with Home Art, which we are very close to. So Radiance, the Basquiat show, had 11 works, the best works of the artist from 1981 to 1986, showcasing different media that he has been using. And that was opened a few days before we actually brought to sale that work that you said sold for 234 million Hong Kong dollar. It became the most expensive work in the whole week for us. So it's been a journey for us to, through objects that we bring to Hong Kong for sale, but objects that we bring to Hong Kong as an exhibition, to help our collectors better understand the artist and gain the passion and the enthusiasm for Basquiat that we think the artist deserves in Asia.
So who are the Asian buyers? Of course, we know that back in 2017, a Japanese billionaire paid a record price of over 110 million US dollars for one of his paintings. Was he a typical Basquiat collector in Asia, the youngish entrepreneur?
I think I won't get into the identity, of course, of the buyer of this Basquiat. We have announced that the wire was acquired by an Asian collector. We will not comment on the geographic or origin of the buyer of this one. What I can say is that the participation in bidding, and it's visible because we had this live stream sale with our colleagues in New York and London, the participation was a global participation in getting that work sold at the price it did. And we really take a lot of pride in having contributed to putting Basquiat on the map for Asian collectors.
Now, there was another work that had garnered a lot of attention before the sale, and that was Xu Beihong, the modern Chinese master's 1924 oil painting, Slave and Lion, which was estimated to be worth over 45 million US dollars. And if it had sold, it would have been the most expensive Asian artwork to be auctioned. But it did not sell, and the bids came in quite a bit lower than the estimate. So what happened there? I just assumed that with a high-profile work like that, you would have lined up potential buyers or even had actual guarantees in place.
So we're absolutely blessed and delighted to have been able to present to the market this exceptional work by Xu Beihong. Slave and Lion. It was painted in 1924 when it was in Europe. The work had not been seen since 2006, and it's one of the very rare oil painting that this iconic master has completed, and he has influenced generations of painters. So we're really delighted to have had a chance to present it to the public. It didn't find a buyer on the day of the sale, but we are continuing conversations with potential buyers to find a new home for the painting.
Now, we cannot talk about the art market without talking about NFTs. As we can see in the background here, Christie's helped kind of encourage this craze in NFTs when you auctioned this JPEG, this digital image, by the American artist known as Beeple for 69.3 million US dollars. it makes the Xu Beihong seems cheap by comparison. So why is Christie's, a traditional auction house, interested in NFTs or non-fungible tokens?
Right. I think we're interested in all forms of art. So we embrace with the 80 categories that we sell across the world, from Chinese painting to photographs to prints to jewelry to gold boxes. You know, we bring the best of the art historically, and also from the most contemporary artists. We bring the best to the market. There's really something going on in the art world, especially in the digital space. Digital art, as a different to analog art, can be copied very easily. You copy paste and you get, you know, the copy of the original. You can do it with a JPEG, you can do it with a picture. And what NFT and what the blockchain is bringing to digital art is the ability to, you know, establish ownership, authenticity, and eventually unicity, which was not possible before. So if David Hockney was painting on an iPad, which has been doing for quite some time, he would still print the drawing and sign it. So the iPad was just a way to realize the drawing, but the drawing ultimately would be what he would print. Today, with any form of art which is existing digitally but not necessarily physically, what the NFT is bringing, it's bringing you know, more safety when it comes to how to transact it. So we're really delighted to have embarked on this journey. It was actually not the first time we're selling an NFT. We sold an NFT a year ago that was attached to a physical work. We sold in 2018 an AI-generated work in London. So, you know, we explore, and I think this intersection between the art world that can sometimes seem a little bit conservative, and the tech world, which is very much at the forefront, is an you know, is a world that we love to be into, because we want to innovate and we want just to, you know, bring new things. It's really exciting. I have to say we were surprised ourselves with the results. You know, I would have said maybe 15, 20 million US would have been a very high price, and I was watching.
But people perhaps wisely immediately converted the Ethereums that he received, the cryptocurrencies that he received for the work. He immediately converted them into US dollars, which is just as well because of the recent crash in the value of bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. So the crash, and also China's new crackdown on mining activities, do you think that's going to have a major impact on NFTs, and whether it's going to well, see the bubble burst very soon?
I don't think so. I think it's still, there's a notion of opportunities that you know, the blockchain is offering to the art world. And I think we're just at the beginning of finding what it is. We're all trying, and Christie is playing a part in there. What happens on crypto is part of the blockchain, it's not all the blockchain, and art NFTs is also part of the blockchain. So whatever happens in part of the blockchain might have some resonance into the other part, but fundamentally the utility that NFTs are bringing to digital art is there and is here to stay. And I think it will help develop a new category of collectible that before was probably less safe to transact.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Enid.